saba urukundo rwa rubane n'abana bawe.
And we ask that your love would be in this place.
Dusengeye abana bawe bababaye bose.
We pray for everybody that has been
ababuze ababo ubane nabo.
Those that do not have their loved one with them.
Ariko dushima ijambo ryawe.
The Father, we just thank you.
Waravuze ngo ni wowe mubyeyi w'imfubyi.
Because you say that you're the father of the
ukaba umugabo w'abapfakazi.
and that you are there for the widows.
Adata abari babihagurukije bashaka kugira ngo bakore iki gikorwa kibi.
So everybody that has what planned against us on this day, they wanted to kill all of us. But your hand was outstretched and brought us light when there was darkness. So we thank you for that. We thank you that there's remnants that are being. We thank you that your arms have been with us. Today you're still with us. And this is why we first say thank you. This is why we call upon your name and say be with us today. Holy Spirit, would you come and just comfort those that are crying, those that are hurting. In your mighty name we pray. Amen. Thank you. And then now I will ask Joy and the choir, the kids choir, to come. They're going to sing the national anthem of Rwanda, followed by the national anthem of Canada, and then followed by that we will be having a moment of silence. So Joy, if you could please come.
Next time, please.
Rwanda nziza gihugu cyacu uje imisozi ibiyaga n'ibirunga urituhetse rahoranisha reka tukurate tukuvugire igwi wowe tubumbiye hamwe twese abanyarwanda uko watubyaye berwa sugira singizwa iteka komeza imihigo Rwanda dukunda duhagurukiye kukwitangira amahoro asabe mu bagutuye wishire wizane muri byose urangwe n'icagutera imbere uhana umubano n'amahanga yose maze ijambo ryawe rigura ijambo. Oh Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front est saint, de fleurs glorieuses, car ton poids s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix, ton histoire est
Can you guys give a round of applause to our kids? I think they did a great job. It's not easy to get up here and start singing for a lot of people in the dark. Thank you guys. So right now I would like to invite the president of the Memory Keepers Association, Eve, who will come and share a moment of silence followed by a symbolic light of the candle. Eve, if you can please come.
Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Yesu ashimye zakuzwe muraho. Amahoro y'Imana. So I'll speak in different languages, but every single time when I'm about to talk, I just try to use the language respectful, and respecting even the faith and the beliefs of the people. So I would love to welcome you to stand up on your feet, please, and just to take a moment. You may ask yourself what we do. It's just about to take a moment, just a minute of silence, to reflect upon everything that has occurred during the 1994 genocide. I'm pretty sure some of us have read, some of us have been able to really go to schools that have aspects pertaining or maybe educating about the Rwandan history, and that really kind of deepens into the history of the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsis of Rwanda. So you may have seen probably the movies, so you may have probably just come across people who gave you the testimonies. I want just this not to be time where you feel like it's just a time of being distracted. You know, it's time to really deeply think about, reflect upon those atrocities and humane actions that we encountered, during the 1994 genocide perpetrated against the Tutsis of Rwanda. So please, let's take that minute of silence. Thank you. You may be seated, please.
Thank you, President. We will now commence our symbolic lighting of the candle and the wreath ceremony. And so for those that are in charge of that, if you could please start.
Thank you very much. I will welcome the president of the Rwandan community abroad to come over and just carry out this symbolic activity. Thank you. This is a pretty, I think, emotional momentum for us because we may probably just need to tap into this in a very deeper ways. But most of us have never been even able to see the remains of our families, parents, siblings. You know, a flower is something that you give to somebody that you love. So even if we don't know where they are, for those ones who are lucky to have even actually got an opportunity to have an idea, maybe some information, we just putting these flowers in, up here in the honor of those ones who have been taken away from us, at the same time to exhibit and express the love we have for them. And also on the top of this, we also lighting this candle to basically tell everyone that no matter what happened, we are unbroken people. We're probably gonna get deeper into this while someone will be having a microphone to say something. But to all those ones, I know probably people are watching from different corners of the globe. Everything is being streamed live. But this means we are still around. We are going nowhere. Whether you want it, whether you don't want it, we're going nowhere. God bless you.
At the start of this event, you guys were handed some candles. I'd like to ask you guys to turn on your candle. And one by one, to just come if you're comfortable and just lay them here as a symbol of memory, as a symbol of who we're remembering. You can even whisper a name if you want to. You guys are all welcome. Thank you for participating in this ceremonial lighting of the candles and roof ceremony. Although we are far away, we're still very close in heart, and we are remembering everything that has happened 28 years ago in Rwanda. And so lighting these candles, even though ceremonial, is a way for us to remember every single life lost, every single family member, every single friend, and every single countryman that has perished. And so I want to thank you guys for participating in this. Next, we're going to have a Song of Hope song by Gentil. If you can please come. And thank you for your participation in this. Please give a round of applause for Anthony. He is one of a singer-songwriter here in Edmonton. If you guys are wanting to hear more of her, I'm sure she's available to tell you where her CDs and albums are at. And next, I would like to invite the keynote address for tonight's commemoration by Theo Karake. If you can please come up here. Thank you.
Muraho neza, abanyacyubahiro muri aha, bavandimwe, nagira ngo banze mbasuhuze kandi
I wanted to welcome you here.
thank you. Banze mbasuhuze kandi bakomeza.
I wanted to welcome you and also
turi mu bihe bitoroshye byo kwibuka
invite you to keep strong because we're in a time
Tutsi bene wacu bazize
where we're remembering
Genocide muri 1994.
our fellow Tutsis that were
ntabwo ari
genocide was
ibintu
convicted against them.
byoroshye, bisaba kwihangana no kubivuga rimwe na rimwe.
It's not an easy thing to do, and sometimes to talk about it, it's hard,
Iyo wabibonye
especially when you've seen it.
uyu munsi rero njye naje hano kugira ngo nsembure ibiganiro
So today I came to address you guys as a keynote speaker
ku kintu kuri teme twatekereje ijyanye n'uyu munsi,
of the theme that we thought about it
ikibazo duhanganye
today.
nacyo ubu ngubu gikomeye
Our biggest problem,
cyo
or challenge,
guhangana n'abapfobya jenoside yakorewe abatutsi.
it is to address the deniers of the
Ngenekereje mu cyongereza
genocide.
navuze ngo ni building resilience
It's to
to
build,
genocide denial.
to build resilience against the genocide deniers.
Impamvu icyo twibandaho ubu ngubu
The reason why we're
ni
fighting against
genocide denial
this
kuko ari ikibazo kiduhangayikishije ubu ngubu.
is because the
Nicyo
genocide
cyo nshaka ko
deniers
tuganiraho gatoya
is a
ntabwo
big
mfata umwanya munini,
issue. So I wanted to discuss this for a
kuko
very small
twifuzaga
amount
ko
of time.
n'abayobozi banyu abantu bagira umwanya wo gutanga ibitekerezo, ntibibe ikiganiro kiri academic.
So this is not going to be an academic research or address, just something quickly that I would like to
Njye
mention.
ndabaganirizaho kubera ko mufite ishyirahamwe ryitwa Memory Keepers Association,
And because we have an association called the Memory
nk'umuntu
Keepers,
wagiye ikorana n'amashyirahamwe cyane mu Rwanda na local communities,
as someone that has been involved in associations such as those back
icyo
home,
twakwita uburambe, nahoze ntekereza ko bakimbwira gutanga ikiganiro
when I was asked
twareba
to
ikintu
do this
twakora
keynote speech,
nk'iyi association yanyu Memory Keepers Association kugira ngo tureke dukora as non-state actor.
I wanted to say something as a non-state actor.
Ni muri iyo mpamvu rero nshaka kubishyira mu bintu mu byiciro bitatu.
I want to say in a 3-part.
Icya mbere dukwiye kureba
The first point,
jenoside, guhakana jenoside ni iki.
we need to understand what is it to deny the genocide.
Icya kabiri
Secondly,
turareba ingorane zirimo.
we want to see the challenges within that.
Icya gatatu
And the third,
ni engagement strategy.
what is our engagement strategy against the deniers?
Ibyo bice bitatu nibyo nshaka ko tuganiraho mu kanya gato, ntabwo mfata umwanya munini cyane. I hope
These 3 points are the
mfashe kuzuza
ones
igihe
that I would
naza
like to
kurondogora
speak about,
kugira ngo bize kutugeza n'aho twebwe ubwacu tugomba kureba responsibility yacu.
It's because this is a responsibility that we all carry.
Twebwe hano ahangaha turi
Here right now in Canada,
by'umwihariko MK Memory Keepers Association
as
twakora
in
iki?
here as memory keepers associations and all of us
kuko rimwe na
here,
rimwe hari igihe twumva nk'ibyo bintu ako kazi ko
what
guhangana
can we do?
n'abapfobya ingengabitekerezo n'abapfobya jenoside ari ibintu bigomba gukorwa.
Because sometimes we feel that going against deniers or going against the rhetoric of denying the genocide is something that's big and that's not for us to do.
ndebye nko mu mategeko y'u Rwanda hari itegeko ryo muri 2018
And when I think about the laws in
riteganya
Rwanda,
neza riteganya neza uburyo
in that law, it explains
gupfobya jenoside
explicitly how
bikorwa biti. Hari utuntu
what
ibice nka birindwi.
denying the genocide looks like.
Hari uguhakana jenoside,
There's to deny the actual genocide,
kwihisha ingiro itarabaye,
to give a testimony or wrong counting of the story that happened,
gukora ibikorwa byose bijyanye gupfobya,
to do actions
kwangiza se
such as talking about it
n'ibimenyetso byayo.
or representing being a denier of the genocide.
Ibyo rero ni ikibazo gikomeye cyane.
So those
Ntabwo
things are
mbitindaho,
big problems and big challenges. I'm not going to stay long on this.
kubera ko birakorwa. Impamvu iri tegeko ryagiyeho ni ukugira ngo abantu barimenye,
And
baryitwararike,
that law was enacted in Rwanda because this is something that is really rampant and it's around.
hari n'igihe tubikora tutabizi
And there's sometimes we
Ariko hari nanone
are
n'abandi
denying the genocide
babikora
without actually knowing that we are doing so.
babizi.
And there are some that actually
Abo
do know
ngabo
it
akaba ari nabo-
and do it consciously.
akaba aribo duhanganye.
And those are the ones where we need to stand up against.
Ibyo rero ni inshingano tugomba gukora.
It is a challenge that we need to take upon ourselves.
ngira ngo niba mwararebye kuri social media hari akantu abantu bakunda bagiye basirikiriza.
And I think if you are on social media, there's
Honorable Mugesera yagiye agerageza gusobanura mu Gifaransa abarescapare abaribo.
there's a thing going around on social media about somebody that wanted to explain what
akavuga ko ari abantu
escape
bafite
is.
resilience,
They say that they find it as somebody who is a resilient
guhangana
person,
n'iyo jenoside, bakabana n'ibyo bibazo byose bagashikama kandi nta wundi bagomba kubisiganya.
so they misrepresented what a escape person is.
Ibyo ni ibintu abari kuri social media ngira ngo mwagiye
Those
musohoka
are on social media, you guys have probably seen it.
ni akantu gafite ni message ikomeye cyane muyisomye ukayisubiramo iri mu Gifaransa.
It's in French.
Honorable Antoine Mugesera ngira ngo yagisobanuye neza cyane asa n'ugaruka kuri responsabilité y'abarokotse jenoside yakorewe Abatutsi. Ibyo rero nibyo bituma
So this
bijya kuri point ya
is
kabiri,
my second point.
kuko background ya jenoside yo abantu bagize umwanya wo kwiganiraho.
Because the background of genocide, there's quite some research and
Turebe rero challenges zirimo, ibibazo birimo.
so now let's see what the challenges are that are composed of that.
Abahakana jenoside,
There's a deny the genocide.
abayipfobya bafite strategy, bafite amayeri menshi.
They have a strategy and ways to do it.
Ibi ndabivuga kubera ko ndaza no kugaruka ku ruhare rw'urubyiruko.
I am doing so that I can also address the young people
Bafashe umwanya
because they took the time,
barabitegura nk'uko bateguye jenoside,
because those deniers have taken
bategura
the
na faze
time
yayo ari iyo kwihakana.
and took out
Faze yayo
phases on how to deny this genocide.
nkeka ko batekereza bavuga bati nidukomeza kwipfobya tukayihakana,
I'm thinking that in their minds,
bariya babizi neza bakaba batakiriho,
once the people that have
Abantu
experienced the
bazagira
genocide
koko-
and have passed on, the young ones that are going to come
bakeka ko
after,
bemere ko nta yabaye.
the story that's going to be around is that there was no genocide.
Hari uburyo bwinshi
So there's lots of different ways to deny
bakoresha
this.
conference,
They have conferences,
bakatumiza abantu benshi,
they invite a lot of people,
harimo na scholars n'abantu
they have
b'abahanga
scholars and
bemeye
researchers
kujya muri uwo murongo,
that have aligned with them.
bakandika ibitabo,
And they write books and articles
bakandika articles zagombye bakoresheje n'abantu ubundi b'abahanga.
that usually you're supposed to line with academic sources, whereas they're lining with deniers.
kandi bagashaka n'abantu bafite audience.
And those people that are publishing these articles want a big audience to read it.
Aho rero niho duhamagarirwa gutekereza ukuntu tugomba guhangana n'abo bantu.
This is also, as you can see, this is something that we need to strategize on how to overcome this challenge.
ngira ngo murayibona noneho hajemo n'indi done nshyashya
There's also another fact that came on
ya internet.
of internet, another aspect.
murabizi ko kera umuntu yajyaga guhamagara
back in
gukoresha
the
konferanse
day-
yatumiraga abantu bakaza akanababona.
Back in the day when you're trying to spread words or news, you would call people and have a conference and
ariko ubu
speak
umuntu
it.
arajya kuri
But
YouTube
now it's easy to go on
agafungura
YouTube
chaîne kuri YouTube
and post a video
agakwiza ubwo burozi niko nabyita.
and spread this poison, for lack of better words, around.
kandi ababukonsoma ababwakira ni benshi.
And those taking in those videos, there are a lot. People
harimo
are
n'abato
doing it.
batabizi.
And there are young people that are watching it and they're unaware.
rimwe na rimwe bakaba banabyemera.
And sometimes those young people agree with it.
niyo mpamvu rero tugomba guhaguruka.
This is why, as a generation, we need to stand up.
uburyo ni bwinshi
There's a lot of different ways to accomplish this.
banakoresha, ariko indi challenge irimo ya kabiri
So that is the second challenge.
rimwe na rimwe ni ukudohoka kwacu tukumva ko ibintu bizikora.
Sometimes it's to kind of let things go and brush it under the rugs, to believe
umuntu
that
rwose akumva ko ibyo turababaye ariko tukadohoka.
we brush it around and we're hurt, but we don't really take it
ahangaha
seriously.
nibwo nabonye ngiye kugera kuri ntuza ya gatatu ari nayo
And
nindaho.
my third point,
ndashaka kubabwira ntuza ya quote ya
I want to read to you a quote
Martin Luther King Jr.
of Martin Luther King Jr.
muri iriya ntambara barwanaga
in
yabo.
the civil rights movement.
yavuze ngo avuga ngo those who love peace must learn to organize as effectively as those who love war. ngira ngo mu Kinyarwanda byanditse mu Cyongereza ni ukuvuga ngo abakunda amahoro bagomba kwishyira hamwe mu buryo bwiza bushoboka nk'uko abateguye intambara nabo babikora. ngo ndagerageza gusemura ibyo
He was just repeating what the quote said in Canada.
iyi kote nayikuye kuri New Times. hari abantu nabonye
This is a quote
banditse
that was in New York Times.
article kuri iki kibazo turimo babyanditse bibiliya muri New Times.
There are people that were publishing about the challenges that we're facing right now about denying
icyo bagaragara
in this
abantu
quote.
babyanditse umunyarwandakazi nayibonye kuri New Times bagaragaza uburyo tugenda tudohoka ikibazo dushobora kuba tutazi uburemere bw'intambara dufite muri media y'abantu
I
bapfobya.
think sometimes we are unaware of the battle that is going around on social media with genocide deniers.
iki kiganiro kigamije kugira ngo
So this theme or this topic is so for us to
harimo
awaken.
abakoresha iryo jambo
There's a lot of people here that always talk about revival, awakening,
y'abakozi b'Imana,
especially those that are the Christian persuasion.
nuko njye tugakanguka.
So we need to awaken, we need to be revived to this.
bariya abantu baricaye barabipanga barabitekereza barakoresha ubwo buryo bwose nababwiye.
As I said previously, all the ways and
bakanabishakira n'amikoro
ways of denying the genocide very strategically.
niyo mpamvu muri strategy nshaka guproposa
And this is why to
harimo yenda
counter
kuba
it,
nkeka ko yafasha.
I propose a strategy that I think would work.
tugomba kwishakamo uburyo tudategereje ibyo leta ikora nabyo byinshi.
We ourselves, without being state actors, need to find a way
kubera
to
ko hano
practice.
genda bireba nka a civil society organization non-state actor nk'iri shyirahamwe
Because I see
ryanyu
the Memory Keepers Association as a non-state actor,
Twakora
as
iki?
people that can stand together and ask ourselves, what can we do?
tugomba rero gukora strategy
We need to strategize.
iri all encompassing, iri integrate,
It is all encompassing.
ireba utuntu twose.
That looks at
Tugira
every
akantu dusiga inyuma.
aspect of what those deniers are talking about.
Birasaba ko ubwo buryo bwose
So we need
tubukoresha tukabadezarma mu buryo buri systematic.
to systematically disarm this rhetoric.
Ubwa mbere tugomba
Firstly,
gukora research,
we need
research,
to be able to do research, scientific research,
research and advocacy.
empirical research and advocacy.
Mu kazi nagiye nkora twagiye muri societe civile twibandaga cyane ku
In a
bintu
job that I used to do,
by'ubushakashatsi
we used to be doing a lot of research,
icyo evidence based research.
what we call evidence-based
Wamara kubikora
research. Once you've done that,
noneho ugakora advocacy.
then you advocate for said
Kandi nkoresha ikinyarwanda cya kera
and said results.
abato badashobora kubumva ukora ubuvugizi ntakura mu ngiro. Ni ukuvuga iki? Ndasobanura ikinyarwanda cya kera.
I did not understand that.
Urugiye ni ahantu habaga hari imyambi hano iyo abantu babaga barwana kera.
Okay, so I think it's a
Abakamuganga
weapon.
imyambi akuramo arasa.
Or
Iyo abantu bakuru murabizi bazi ikinyarwanda baravuga ngo iyo ukora ikintu mu buryo buri systematic ntukura mu rugero.
So when you do something systematic, you're not, I think you're just not doing it by chance.
Akazi k'ubuvugizi
And so what
gakorerwa hose. Sorry, I'm going fast.
no, you're good.
Yes. Akazi k'ubuvugizi gakorerwa hose.
And so as a speaker, what you can, everyone can use their voice and advocate.
Ariko tugomba kuba dufite tools.
But we need to have proof and evidence base in our speech.
Tugomba kubanza natwe tugakora ubushakashatsi,
We also need to research.
tugakora documentation,
We need to be able to have evidence, empirical
twamara
evidence.
kubyegeranya,
Once we gather all that together,
twamara kubyegeranya,
once we gather
tukabishyira
all
muri forme
that, we need to be able to
mu buryo bworoshye bwo gutanga. Akaba na
put
dissemination.
it together and maybe formalize it or write it down, and so that we can disseminate this information and this
Bidaho
evidence.
cyane kugira ngo
And
ntaba teorike cyane.
so, not to be theory based.
Icya kabiri ni uko tugomba gukora n'izo conference natwe.
Secondly, we also need to have conferences such as
A conference like this one,
the conference like this,
function like this one.
a function like this,
Tugasobanura
to explain
mu buryo online no n'igihe
via
abantu
online
bahuye.
as well, and people in the audience to speak about the truth.
Ikindi twakora
And thirdly,
ni muri iyo engagement strategy
in
mbabwira
the case of engagement
ni
strategy,
ugushaka natwe amaboko.
it's for us to
Ikinyarwanda
find ways of acting and action,
tugashaka strategic partnership.
partnership as well.
Urugero hano murabona honorable arahari.
As you can see, for example, there's a couple honorable people here.
Iyo umunyapolitiki the policy makers bumvise ikibazo,
When policymakers are listening to
wowe
power,
icyo usabwa
what they usually ask for
ni ukumuha uburyo bwo gutuma akoresha wa mwanya
is
arimo
for evidence
kugira ngo
or articles
kuko bafite
or
uruvugiro wowe udafite.
so that he can or they can present it forward so that they can enact policies.
Urundi rugero nabahaye nabonye ejo bundi muyobora mwese murabona honorable deputy Ariel
As you can see,
akora motion muri parliament hano.
you guys understood her a couple days ago in the Parliament of Ottawa. She put forth a motion
Muri parliament.
in the
And at the
Parliament.
same time mwabonye na statement ya Prime Minister Trudeau.
At the same time, you also saw the statement of
Twebwe
Prime
rero buriya
Minister
ni
Justin
ikintu
Trudeau.
iriya statement
That statement that Trudeau
n'iriya motion
forth, as well as the motion of the Honourable in
buriya
Ottawa,
ni process kugira ngo ujye kubigeraho.
that
Ubone
is
iriya
a
baruwa
process in order to get there.
haba harakozwe akazi kenshi.
Behind that has been a lot of work preceding it.
Natwe rero ku rwego rwacu
So now on our end,
nko kujya kureba ibintu biri kure cyane.
We don't have to go out of our
turebe
reach or out of our
abantu
bounds.
hano bafite influence.
We can see the ones next to us that have
Dufite
influence.
ikibazo gikomeye cy'abantu
And we can
bahakana
say,
jenoside.
hey, this is a problem we have. We have people that are denying the genocide. How can you help us?
Dore uko babikora.
And we can show our evidence as to this is how they do it.
Barabafasha ngaba.
And these are the people helping them do it. So now,
abo bafite ijambo
those that can make the policies changes and do have power in that sense can do something in order to help us.
Muribuka ukuntu yeni ijya gutora uriya munsi kugira ngo abantu bibuke.
As we can remember, for those that remember about the UN and how they wanted to have a national day of commemoration, in order to have that done, there was a lot of work put into it. So those partnerships, it's needed, it's imperative. And so I'm very curious to what you guys' thoughts are as well. My job is to provoke conversation and to incite conversation. Another thing we need to do that is important, my young people, youngins, specifically those that have been born after the genocide. Right now they're 28 years old. They do not know. They have not seen it with their own eyes. But us who have seen it with our own eyes, we should be in charge in speaking to them and testifying and yesterday I was talking to a couple of ladies that were here, and I was asking them, how old are you? How old are you?
Computer science.
What are you studying? And I wanted to encourage them to say, hey, if you're in computer science or engineering, you can have a way into enacting some change. If you study computer science, for example, you can do codes. Instead of us misusing social media, we can ask people that know what to do with it. This is why the young people will come forward. Us older people have seen it. We have the wisdom of it. So let us please tell the young people that are 22 to 28. They have now become a little older. We need to explain to them properly so that they can utilize their knowledge and what they've studied.
kandi murabibona ko abasore n'inkumi bafite uburyo bwa communication bugezweho butu bwacu.
And as you can see, there's some of these youngins who have a better way of communicating, and so we need to be able to support them and have their backs.
Niyo mpamvu shimangira ikintu cyo kwita ku rubyiruko.
This is why it's very important to talk about young people. So it's very important to see the young kids come and sing both national anthems of Rwanda and Canada. And what I was thinking, I said, wow, they are on a good track. These kids, first they already identify as a Rwandan, and they also recognize Rwanda as a country that has welcomed them. But they understand that they are Rwandans. So in that, we can also utilize that. For example, in Quebec, we have started an organization where we teach kids Kinyarwanda. When you teach kids Kinyarwanda, and they can sing a national anthem in Kinyarwanda,
cultural activities.
The next time you talk about national, you create national activities, and they wear missionaries.
Those suits, traditional suits.
The traditional attire. A child would understand how Rwandese people communicate Just little things like that.
mwaramutse muraho
Saying, how are you doing? Just teaching them these little conversation
abamaze
pieces.
kwidentifya no nk'umunyarwanda.
So once that is happening, they identify themselves as a Rwandan.
Noneho bitewe n'imyaka bafite
And
ukagenda
in regards to their age, you give them more and more knowledge towards I guess pertaining to their age. You give them more and more. Just you educate them in the Rwandan culture.
ufite imyaka 5
Those who are 5 years old
imyaka 10 umaze kugira ubwenge
or 10,
ntabwo umuha the same.
you don't educate them in the same way or give them the same information.
Noneho iyi teme ya kurwanya genocide ikaba icyo bita insanganyamatsiko centre d'intérêt.
And so like that, the genocide and the topic of the genocide can become a topic of interest.
Abize ubwarimu muzi ko
Those who have
ushobora ku
studied,
ijambo rimwe ibyo bita insanganyamatsiko centre d'intérêt.
somebody can have a
Noneho kuri iryo
hypothesis,
jambo ugakoraho ibintu byinshi binyuranye.
and from that hypothesis you can kind of diversify and find topics to bring it all together.
Aba bana impamvu mbatindaho urubyiruko mpereye ku bato
The young ones, the reason why it's taking a long time
bitangira bumva ari fani
is because I want them to come here,
kuko
and
ntabwo
at
umwana muto
first
w'imyaka 5
they
ntabwo
think about this as fun.
ntabwo afite concentration ku kintu iminota 30
Most of them
atavuze.
don't have the concentration of understanding what this is, what is happening.
Noneho akabyina
Then they dance,
agakora twa sketch
they do their sketches.
bakamaze kugira identity.
Now they have identity as a Rwandan.
ukamwigisha ukagenda kugenda umuha information.
And then you continue as they go on to inform them correctly. So lastly, what I would like to finish by,
mu buryo buri pratique wenda tuzaza kugarukaho mu biganiro.
speak about practically.
Dukwiye gushaka uburyo twiyogana twishyira hamwe.
We need to find a way to come
Already muri
together.
organize.
I believe that you guys are already organized, but we need to find a way to come together so that we can have discussion,
ishyira hamwe murishakira ubushobozi.
so that when we have a
Abantu
common
batangire
plan
bakora part
or
time.
a common strategy, there's
Ariko
people that
hagira
can
umuntu
partake into it.
nibura uvuga ati ku cyumweru mfite amasaha 2
Some of you
ngomba
guys can
kureba
strategize
ibihita kuri internet
what days you can work,
muri iyi domaine yo kurwanya
how much
jenoside
you can give to that
nkabidokumenta
community,
nkabishyira ahantu
that
bikabikwa kugira
association,
ngo hazabeho appropriate action.
so that there can be appropriate action in the end.
Uko amikoro agenda yiyongera
And so as people
Wow,
continue to
mukozi.
associate,
mugashaka amikoro muri mwe mukamwishyura amasaha 2 bikazagira umwaka utaha bikaba igice cy'umunsi through your contributions.
and so hopefully becoming an entire organization that has conferences that first starts small but then lasts.
Akazageraho abasha nuko mwabona nibwo umukozi umwe ukora ku kazi ukorera association.
To the point where hopefully somebody
experience
can stand and become like a director of that organization. And I say this as a person who has experience in it.
Icya kabiri
Secondly,
hano muri iki gihugu
here in
haba hari za
Canada,
grants
there's quite a bit of grants.
uburyo ziri muri iyi domaine.
These
Communities
grants
zihamagarirwa
are specific
applyingaho
for grassroots
call for proposals.
proposals.
Umwaka ushize
Or
barayitanze towards July.
last year they had given some grants.
Nibuka ko uwabimpaye yarambwiye ati muri Quebec dukore ikintu cyo dukore ni bibliothèque virtuelle.
In Quebec, they gave us a grant so that we could do a virtual library
aho gushyira izo
to
information
talk
zose.
about the Rwandan genocide.
Call for proposal rero mushobora kwibaza muti nta mafaranga dufite.
And so for you
Ariko
guys
abatanga ziriya
organize,
grants bemera ko hari percentage ushobora gukoresha wishyura umuntu wakoze ka kazi.
when you guys organize, you can understand that there are things in place for you.
Nimureke rero twishakemo abafite ubushobozi
So let us find those that are
nta
willing
marangamutima arimo
and that are wanting to do
tubahe izo
it,
nshingano
so
gradually
that we can give them this
noneho
responsibility gradually,
tuzabashe guhangana n'aba
so
kuko association
that we can reinform people that are denying.
noneho ikindi kizakurikiraho ni ukuvuga ngo ubushobozi bugezeho kuko mwebwe elders n'abandi muri board na assemblée générale inzego abaresha ta en général General Assembly, Board, and wa muntu ukoraho agahera gufata za minutes z'ibintu mwakugiye mu nama no gushaka venue.
And so I believe that you guys can also organize in this an aspect of really focusing on the denial of genocide.
Ziba efficacious.
And organize and having an efficient organization. People far and so the reason why I'm talking about this it's because if we don't start having this responsibility and actually have action, it only stays in our minds. And so you meet up the next year. Talk about it next year and say, oh, we haven't put it into action yet.
Kandi abo duhanganye nabo bafite umuntu uri kuri computer asa n'uri kumbunda amasaha 28.
So we as an organization should be better than the deniers because they are so organized and we can do better than that and propagate truth. And so in contrast to that is us being not organized, a way of combating what the deniers are doing.
Bafite strategic plan barikiye baripanga bati mu myaka 20 ntuziri imbere tuzaba tumaze kuganaguraho nta n'umuntu ucyumva genocide.
Those people have in their minds that no one will understand what the genocide is. And our kids will ask us, well, what's their, what is the genocide? What's going on? So this is our responsibility.
Kugira ngo tubahe utange baton tubahe iyo
we need to give the stick to the next generation to take it over.
Ni ngombwa cyane role yacu nukubaha information kwiorganiza kugira ngo dushake appropriate response kubyo bari abakora.
And so we give the information for us to get organized and for us to put it to action.
Kuganira hakaba harimo ikibazo nababwira ariko mfite ibyiringiro byinshi.
I have many ideas and I have a lot of hope. I have a lot of hope and believe that this is going to work. And I know that this can happen because it first starts with just a simple idea and simple thoughts. I was giving a speech in Kibuye.
Bafite ingando mwiherero rero ababishe ntabwo bagomba kubabona ejo bundi mwarabaye indaya abandi mwarabaye abasinzi nibyo bifuza.
And so I was telling that you guys are not people that are worthless. You guys can do something with your lives.
Despite ibibazo byagiye ndabivukamo nyuma ubu nabagabo
and they have
at least ku giti cyabo babashe kwibana
and they have been able to become upstanding citizens despite of what has happened to them and their parents. And I just want to explain to you and to make you believe that this can happen. And I want to stop here and thank you so that there's an interaction. All right, we want to say thank you to the keynote speaker. All right, thank you guys. Now I want to, just off as he said, I do want to agree with that. I know specifically young people, like there's a couple of us here, I am also young. I was born in '96 and so I did not see it. I did not see the genocide, but I know that my parents did a great job in explaining it to me and explained the importance of it. And I realized that now it's my turn to keep this torch burning and to do everything in my power to explain and communicate it well with those in my surrounding. For example, I'm doing my master's in criminology at the U of A, and there's a couple of professors that do not understand still what has happened in Rwanda, and it's my responsibility to explain it, and it's my responsibility to stand in the gap and become that professor or become that researcher that he was talking about, so that we can give it to the policymakers. And so, you guys, I encourage you. I know a lot of us are here that are students and that are going into law and going to psychology and all that, and we need each other. We need to support our parents. We need to, you know, they've done a lot for us, they've sacrificed a lot, and we just need to give back. And so I would like to invite Angel to come and sing a song for us.
Mwiriwe mwese, ntabwo bino ari ibihe byoroshye, ariko muri kano kanya nagira ngo dufatanye uko ngiye kuririmba ino ndirimbo no kugira ngo duhumurize imitima yacu. Kenshi hari igihe tuba twifuza ko source y'umunezero cyangwa source y'imbaraga ituruka hanze kugira ngo twebwe dushoboreshwe, ariko nzi ko muri buri munyarwanda ahava akagera, cyane cyane abarokotse itsembatsemba n'itsembabwoko ry'abatutsi ryabaye. For all of those people, I know we are incredibly resilient, and I know that the strength that we're looking for already resides on the inside of us. So tonight, I'd like to ask that each and every one of us just tell your heart to beat again. I'm ready.
That was Angel. She's one of my favorite singers and just my favorite person. Those who have the privilege of knowing her know that she is for this community and know that she's doing actually everything in her power in gathering women that have been affected by not only the genocide, but they also have trauma in their lives in order for us to build a community and come together. And so there are quite a lot of people, amazing people in our community that are doing great things. And so don't be afraid to reach out or to get to know each other and to talk so that you guys can get resources. And so I wanted to also add that our guest speaker, Theo, wanted to ask you guys if you have questions about what he was talking about. We're open to having a discussion. And so if anyone has a comment or even just a question about all that he said, you guys are more than welcome to speak up. Even now, you can put your hand up and I'll ask you.
ndagira ngo uyu mwanya tuwusangire ntabwo impamvu nifuje ko twaganira dutya.
I would like for us to open a discussion.
Ntabwo nshaka ko biba one way.
I don't want it to be a one way where I'm just speaking to you.
Ndashaka ko nifuzaga ko tuganira mu buryo buri practice.
It's not specifically a question, but I wanted to be able to have a discussion.
Nyuma y'imyaka 25 tugomba kugira strategy.
After 28 years, we need to have a strategy that's a robust strategy.
Otherwise,
otherwise the naysayers will have a platform and you understand what are the repercussions of that. And so although I cannot make a traditional presentation, I would just like to have even challenge or feedback or just a discussion. The floor is open.
Igitekerezo, ikibazo,
thoughts, a
byose hari umwanya wa time allocated to this session.
We have set aside a time allocated for this specific discussion here.
How do you go about it? To begin it?
How do we go about disarming the naysayers or the deniers of the genocide?
muraho mwavuze ko wari ufite ikibazo cyo kubabaza mwavuze ko tugomba prepare kugira ngo turwanye abagoreka amateka yacu gusa rimwe na rimwe usanga icyakagombye kurwanya ayo mateka ari ubuhamya bw'abarokotse jenoside nyamara rimwe na rimwe kubutanga bikagorana kubera mental state barimo kubera ibintu bitandukanye baba baraciyemo ukaba udashaka kurashinga ko batanga ubwo buhamya bw'ibyo baciyemo nyamara ari imwe mu matools cyangwa mu weapons bakoresha turwanya abo bagoreka amateka yacu so ni iyihe tool yindi itari kuvuga ubuhamya abarokotse jenoside baciyemo yadufasha nkatwe nk'urubyiruko ndetse ikaba nk'iyacu ubwacu tutagendeye ku mateka wenda ababyeyi cyangwa abaganga bacu baciye murakoze.
All right, so he asked, is there another strategy where it is not just for the parents or the older generation to testify or to explain what happened in the genocide? Because there's a lot of trauma that comes with it, and there's a lot of, some people are just not ready to speak on it. And so is there another way for us young people to expose us to the reality and the truth of the genocide, and how can we mobilize?
Okay, njyewe numva icyambere ni uko organized. Icyambere ni uko twumva twemereye hose.
The first thing is organization.
Where there is a will,
Where there's a will, there is a way.
iyo adage rero ni ukuvuga iki iyo umaze kubyemera uko wabigenza ubuhamya ushobora kubutanga mu buryo bwinshi. You can even be assisted by someone ufite uburambe muri iyo domaine. Niba utazi ikinyarwanda ukabutanga mu cyongereza cyangwa mu gifaransa. By the way, uburyo bwo gukoresha ni bwinshi kandi n'ababikonsoma abandi no muri izo ndimi babishyiramo. Turabukeneye mu kinyarwanda, turabukeneye mu gifaransa, turabukeneye mu cyongereza, turabukeneye mu gisipanyol no mu gishinwa.
Okay, so he is saying that there's different ways of being educated or understanding what is going on with the genocide and what has happened. And on top of that, once we are educated, we need to be able to disseminate this information in multiple languages, not just in Rwanda, English, or French. We can just continue on and yeah, disseminate this information.
ngira ngo icyo nakongeraho ubushake nkuko nabibonye murabufite cyane cyane mwebwe urubyiruko. Uburyo byakora ni nkuko yabivugaga ibyo yiga herself. Dufite ubumenyi, dufite information, tuyihe abafitemo ubumenyi bayishyire muri ntuza yumvikana. I don't know if it's making sense.
It does make sense. Okay, so he's saying that specifically, it looks like we do have a willingness of counteracting what is happening with the deniers, and a way to do that is to find people that are experts in fields, for example, people that are academics, so that they can put into paper, articulate it properly, so that this information can go up and be utilized by politicians and policymakers and so on and so forth.
In case there is someone who is doing law or criminal law, 20 years ago, I was doing a master's degree in human rights and criminal justice. Kubera iyo nyungu ya genocide navuze yabaye centre d'intérêt, ndavuga nti ngiye gukora research kuri genocide, ariko ndeba the criminal the prosecution of genocide under international law, the case study of ICTR. Byatumye nsoma ibintu byinshi kuri iyo literature ubona yuko ari umunyeshuri, nza kugwa kuri case, nza kugwa kubona icyansigaye mu mutwe urumvashize iminsi ni case ya Kayesu bari mu mestre wataro.
All right. So he's saying that, for example, 20 years ago he went and did his master's in human rights, criminal justice, and because his interest was about the genocide and because he had gone through it and understood it, his research topic or his thesis was based on the prosecution of the doers of the genocide or the genocide.
Icyo nshaka kongeraho iyo case ntuze urwo rubanza rwari bigize nibwo bwa mbere muri jurisprudence rape yabaye nyine acte constitutif ya genocide.
And so in that moment, I was studying it, this is the first time where rape was used as a weapon of war, and it was considered as a weapon of war.
Mwari muzi ko icyo gihe aho muri Taba Kayesu yayoboraga abagore b'Abatutsikazi mbere yuko babica.
There was a time before the women were murdered, they were first forcefully paraded naked.
Can you understand the level of atrocity?
The atrocity or the level of atrocity. So when people speak about it, it's as if it's easy.
Young people
So once you've done this research, you understand the the depth and the significance that why this happened and the ramifications of what happened.
reka mbaye nka teme imwe ushobora gutekerezaho.
For example, a theme or a research question you can think of.
Could we imagine, let me state it in English, could we imagine the mind, the state of mind of someone who was born out of rape? Murabyumva?
Are you understanding?
Umuntu muratekereza umuntu w'umusore ubungubu wavutse.
Can you understand the mental state or the mental health of somebody who was a product of rape or sexual assault?
Nkeka ko nk'uwo muntu
I believe
nawe
that
afite
somebody
ibindi bibazo.
like that would have
Their
own trauma and things like that. We need to be able to study this.
Murabyumva?
Are you understanding?
Nkiri ku Kibuye nanone nagiye muri izindi kesi nka Bisesero.
I'm also back in the
Aho
research
abantu-
days. I did more research.
za mariage interethnique.
There were forceful marriage that were
Abagabo bapfushije nk'abagore
interracial.
bakarongora nk'abahutukazi ariko ntibigire ba accepta abo bagore. Izo kesi narazumvise.
There are also cases of sexual assault within
murumva iyo
interracial and forcible marriages.
muratekereza abana
So if
wenda
you think
bashobora kuba
about the
baravutse
products of the kids of that home or that situation, where are they now and what is their state of mind?
Okay. Wenda ngiye ku ruhande gato ariko icyo gukora ni byinshi.
All this to say there's a lot to do.
Assistance yaboneka.
There's a lot of help that can also go through that.
nuko mwebwe urubyiruko youth
The important point is
mwumva ko ari
that
ngombwa.
the young people need to understand that there is a need and there's an importance in looking at these
kuko uyu muzigo
because this burden,
mwebwe mugiye kuwufata.
we need to be able, as a young people, we need to carry this burden.
abo mu Rwanda bajya bavuga ngo nta myaka ijana uzaramba azagira 70. Ubu ni ukuvuga ni igihe cyo kubaraga.
So this is a time.
Ese abakuru tubarage ibyatunaniye.
So are we supposed to tell them what we were as
reka
old
mbishyire muri
people?
langage isema. I want to challenge you abakuru iyo bigeze igihe cyo kuraga.
I want to challenge you guys, the older generation,
Ibi bintu abafite imyaka 50 kurenza.
those that have 30 and up.
Turabasigira iki?
What are we going to leave our kids?
Ariko I want to warn you the other side. Y'abarwaye imyaka.
I want to express this, the deniers, or the other side of the deniers, they are organized
Bari organized mu buryo ibinyoma byabo
in a strategic way where their lies and their stories.
genda bireba.
And because I look at it,
tukibuka nabo bagaserebura.
while we are commemorating, they're celebrating.
Teoria double genocide.
There is a
Kugira
thing
ngo
they
myaka
call a
20
double
zaza
genocide.
bazavuga ngo nta batutsi bishwe.
Meaning, in the years to come, they will try to say that there is no genocide against Tutsis.
Twarabonye abantu babambye ku
Though we saw with our own eyes the atrocities.
Iriya mihoro yo kurusumo nayibonye iri fresh yamaze abantu. Nasanze harunze.
I've seen the.
Ubwo nzasobanura ne umwana wanjye.
So how am I going to explain to my kids the things that I saw, like so that they can understand what I was going through in 1994?
Tugomba rero kwiga let's organize and 6 assistants were necessary. Kandi mwebwe and you have the tools, you guys, you young people. Tudafite twebwe abakuze.
You have certain tools at your disposal that us old people do not have. Somebody else have a question around here? Or a commentary?
Yes, please.
Murakoze cyane. Ndaza kuvanga icyongereza n'ikinyarwanda so mubabarire. Nakunze ukuntu mwatangiye kuvuga ko twebwe n'urubyiruko dushobora gutangira gukora ikintu. So muribaza ni iki twashobora gutangira gukora nonaha kugira ngo dushobore gusolvinga icyo kibazo dufite, and niye goal twakwiha in 1 year to come ko dushobora gutangira gukoraho kugira ngo dushobore kuyahabwa kabisa. Murakoze.
Make sure straight away, make sure that your interests are catered for within the organization here. Uzabaze papa wawe uri hano buri gihe ibyo twakoraga kera, make sure ko urubyiruko rufitemo uruhare rufatika. Icyo gihe nshaka kuvuga ahangaha ni iki, muri association no muri keepers association, muri organization mukora nabibonye, ni mwemplike, ni mushyiremo urubyiruko bagira uruhare. Mujya mubona abana b'intabwo ngo ndi autonome, je suis capable, bibona muri Quebec ngo nabikora nanjye, ukagenda kura umwana ugenda muri responsabilize. Ndifuza kubabona nahoze mbwira abo twagana ari mugoroba hano nihita ni mukore organisation iri virtuelle même online forum. Kuki abantu bakora forum zo kuvuga ibintu bibi, mushobora kuba muri hano muri Canada mukagira na partnership online mukoresha ikoranabuhanga n'abandi bantu bari mu Rwanda, and you exchange information about genocide.
All right, so he was asking the question of us who are interested, or young people are interested in doing something now, what can we do, or what is the goal? What is this goal that we can set a year from now to accomplish this? And so the answer was that you guys can mobilize within Memory Keepers Association and have maybe even an association within that, or a branch within that dedicated for the young people in there. And it can even be a virtual forum, and yes.
Good.
And then a last question.
Excuse me?
Oh,
Hello.
it's a little bit more questions. Let's just do here first.
Murakoze. Ni ikibazo nanjye mfite, ariko kirarebana nuko ugeze kudusobanurira kare y'ibintu bimwe na bimwe dushobora gukora, harimo nk'amakonferanse atandukanye, ndetse wenda tubwira ko twahera kuri evenement nk'izi ngizi, ari naho tuganira, dukora umuhango wo kwibuka, tukaba twakwinjiza abantu mbese muri ubwo buzima twaciyemo, tugasangira ubuhamya n'iki. Ngira ngo wenda kuri uwo mumari nacyo wenda dushoboye, ni nacyo dufite abakiri bato bashobora guheraho, tutarajya kure wenda ngo dukore byinshi. Wenda nkeka ko igikorwa nk'iki ngiki twagombye kukigira kuko igikorwa bagira icyo bakuramo, yaba urubyiruko ndetse n'abandi wenda batabonye jenoside n'abanyamahanga muri rusange. So ikibazo rero wenda mfite, nakunze kubona si ubu gusa, ariko hari ukuntu abantu bajya bakora mu bikorwa byo kwibuka, rimwe na rimwe ugasanga wenda mumbabarire kandi wenda, ariko ni igikorwa nakunze kubona ko ukabasanga igikorwa cyo kwibuka kiri centered ku kintu cy'iyobokamana, ku buryo rimwe na rimwe hari igihe ushobora kuvuga ati bisa nk'aho nk'abantu babyitiranya. Eske ikibazo mfite, kuko wenda nk'iyobokamana ibintu bijyanye no kubivanga no kwibuka, akenshi hari igihe biba trigger barokotse, ko harimo nk'indirimbo z'Imana abantu hano bashobora kurenga abantu bakirukanka, ko nizo y'amaradiyo yashishikariza abantu gukora jenoside n'ubundi zakinaga. Harimo n'abayishakiraga excuse wenda bavuga bati Imana yaduhaye uburenganzira bwo gukora bino bintu. So ikibazo rero eske rimwe na rimwe kushaka kubyitiranya se cyangwa kubivanga n'ibintu bijyanye n'iyobokamana, hari icyo byaba bibangamira mu kuvuga amateka ya jenoside? Donc uburyo ushobora nko kumisguiding abana bakiri bato.
Okay, nkeka ko ibintu byose bigomba gushyirwa muri context. Iyobokamana nta kibazo gihari, biterwa n'uko abantu babifasha. Ari no mu kwibuka ubwabyo, kugira ngo nkeka ko mu Rwanda abantu bagiye babivugurura, ibyari misa bigahinduka prière œcuménique, umuntu amadini yose akaza agafata umunota agasenga, umuntu wese uko chairman yabivuga afite ukwemera kwe, icyo kirakemuka. Aho gushyiraho misa imwe y'idini imwe, noneho ukabutangira intambara y'amadini. bitari ngombwa. Ariko hano iyo ugiye gukora ibintu by'amashyirahamwe ikintu cya mbere ugomba kwitwararika ni ugutekereza diversité d'opinion et de croyance. Uko mwicaye hamwe mwese, twicaye aha twese dufite background zinyuranye. Hari abemera Imana, hari abatayemera, hari abakoze ibi, hari abakoze ibi. Ukareba icyo njya nkunda mu buzima gihe cyo mbukundira ni ukureba ikintu kiri positive ukagikuramo mu wundi. Iyo kera urabonetse ugatangira gukora samari, iyo abanyarwanda baba bubaka inzu nta muntu bahezaga, ubwo ndadaca n'uca umugani, inzu y'ibyatsi, guhera ku bana bato bazana ibyatsi amasa, ku basore b'ibigango bagorora ibiti bakanabishinga, n'abasaza bamaze gukura tugifite intege yicara hamwe itabe avuga ati kiriya giti ni mu giteme nimugire gutya akozaho inkoni. It's intra-generation. Aranywa itabi ntagifite imbaraga fizike ariko afite ibitekerezo. Hari ukuntu nimureke buri wese tumuhe role ye, niyo bari gutera akabuji nka kariya mwana akayizana, abagize participation, kuzana abantu bose on board ni ngombwa. Iyo umusaza atewe tumyakaza akicara hano akabira konta, abira konta aribyo bitwa nde yabira konta mu Kinyarwanda, ko uzi Ikinyarwanda ukabyandika n'imashini ko ufite na speed gutya, ubona ukuntu abazungu bungu bandika. Noneho igihe ujya kurangiza kuvuga nje kuri iyi ntuzi yamara kubikora akaba yabigeze yakoze na audio amemuta byose bikaba byabaye diffuse. Turagukeneye ureba difference d'âge. Wa mama ukuze umuntu wese iyo strategy yewe iri all encompassing, iha buri wese uroreye. Ariko ikintu gikomeye naho ngaruka ku kibazo gikunda kuvuga mu mashyirahamwe, by the way hari twavuze ibyiza ko tuvuga n'ibibi, ibibazo birerekana nabyo mu mashyirahamwe duhura nabyo cyangwa tugira. Abantu benshi umwanya tutakaza mu kujera za karagiteri zacu, tukihatwe barake, tukihatwe kanaka, noneho intambara zikaba mu kurwanya imyanya itafite n'ikintu gifatika. Ariko ibyo ni indi side mbi y'amashyirahamwe, bimaze n'igihe ugasanga umwanya munini urawuta ujira amakimbirane y'abanyamuryango iryo shyirahamwe. Iyi bloke ni Ngarambe, iriya bloke ni Eric, abangaba ni abamusoro. Ibyo bishobora kubaho kandi ubundi koze yabahagurukije ari iyi ngiyi. Ndagira ngo mbabwire ko bishobora kubaho. Nibyo rero niyo mpamvu ugomba kubipreva ugashyira ku ruhande. Uvuza amadini, hari n'amashyaka, hari ibyo umuntu wese yemera. Si ngombwa ko tuba duhuje idini, si ngombwa ko tuba duhuje ishyaka, waba uri muri parti liberale, waba uri muri parti conservateur, ariko hari cause duhuriyeho iri central to us. Ibindi ni kimwe n'ibyo urya n'ibyo wambara n'uko usokoje n'ibyawe. Inahangaha ngira ngo muri Canada ho murabizi ko umuntu wese afite uburenganzira bwo imyemerere. We are lucky. Wenda gukora agasamari inyuma, ariko icyo nshaka kuvuga ahangaha, ishyirahamwe abo duhangana bafite ingufu, barorganize, tubona amakimbirane tuvuga banafite, bashatse financement. Shobora gukora fundraising, uvuga uti umunsi twaje hano ariko kugira ngo dutangize iki gikorwa reka dukore fundraising, umuntu wese atange $20. Murabyumva? Noneho mukaza gukora igikorwa gifatika. Birasaba rero contribution ya buri wese irrespective of his political affiliation, his religion or her religion. Bikeneye buri muntu wese mugahamo umwanya nk'uko wambazaga, make sure you play your role. Nimushaka office, ese mushyiremo computer, abana bacu bajya baza nimugoroba akore benevora nk'uko ikora ku ishuri, amareho isaha imwe abikodinga ahantu ko kwa sekreteri ushinzwe neza ko yakoze amasaha abiri ya benevora azagera muri CPI ya documentation urihangana gato bazakora samari ya documents avuye ku ishuri cyangwa muri weekend agiye muri association ahatanze umusanzu w'amasaha abiri areba ibyo abapfa babijya n'abahakana genocide banditse kuri specifically kuri iki kintu kiniki mugenzi we wundi afate indi axe undi afate indi axe bibe documente bibika hari documentation agaca avuye ku ishuri mu kazi umwanya muto yafite aradocumentation ibintu arabibitse aragakoze abibitsa ahantu muri server whatever kuri media yose abikozemo benevora ariko hakeneye ubushobozi bwo kugura gukodesha office wa musore akahaca avuye ku ishuri akaza cyangwa se niba ari umwana adafite na transport akaza kubona amafaranga ya bisi. Icyo bisaba rero again ishyira hano ndabwiza ukuri bisaba kwitanga, ugomba kubemera koze ugahaguruka ugafata umwe mu mwanya wawe nk'uko ujya ku church ukayikorera. Ese kuki tubona umwanya wo kujya gukorera? Kera abantu bajyaga bajya abagore baza kubura kiliziya n'abo muri mu muryango remezo hehe ubwo ni turi Kabgayi mu Rwanda n'urugero. Abagore b'abakristo bagahaguruka bakajya gukubura church yabo, uriya musanzu ukaba wanditse. Natwe rero iyi kozi tugomba kwigira yacu. Njye n'iki kintu nimba cyanshimisha ndamutse mvuye hamwe nibura mubyemeye tureniyo murabyemera byo already, ariko noneho mukabiha izindi ngufu ntimuze kumfata nabi ngo kuko deja mwebwe mwateye imbere mufite n'ishyirahamwe uko mutuye hano nk'abanyarwanda ntabwo mwese mwemera iyi kozi, ariko abandi muzabarariyaho mute kuri iyi kozi mwe mutaremera. Mwebwe mwabibonye nabo bakomokaho. Reka mbere kiranga
for the keynote speaker and the discussion. Thank you so much. So to summarize, really well. Yes, that's good. Yes. So to summarize, we just wanted to talk about how everybody has a role that they can play. Whether it's the child that comes and brings down the little candle here, whether it's the youth that are curious and asking their parents what happened, whether it's the university student that's researching and curious in that way, or everybody has a role that they can play in. And he wanted to remind you to please not have any divide when we're trying to engage or to mobilize in this theme of renewal and revival and reawakening. And yes, and so for now, we are going to take a 15-minute intermission. So you guys, there's some refreshments just when you go upstairs on the left side or on the right side of 10, or just to walk around. It's being told no, so just walk around for a good 10 minutes to 15 minutes. I will see you guys back at 5:15. All right, thank you.